everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, season 7, episode 2. Still a dud, but
Better.
you should have
It is
expected it.
not as bad as last week because it didn't start with that sketchy nurse costume scene.
Horrible. Horrible. Whoever
I
did
guess
that
it
should be
did because it was on the
arrested.
previously on, but
Whoever did it should be. I left it out.
it was better.
Well, before we get into this episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have It's About the Pasta Vanderpump Rules podcast, which is also live right now. And then we have One Season Wonders. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I have to be honest, I did not post any tweets yet. I'll tell you why. I have not gotten any sleep and my mental health is slowly deteriorating. So
Do
I
it
will
tomorrow
post
during the
tweets when I
day.
wanna. I will post tweets when I
Tomorrow
want to
for
post
us
tweets.
during the day on Friday because that's when this just came out.
Oh, good idea. I will
Yeah.
do it later for sure. And also join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows. Meredith and I started talking about therapy and then went straight into how cool
Somebody
we are.
else who needs therapy.
We went into Also, you get access to any episodes we record early. We do not know our recording schedule for these episodes, so if we record them right after the show, you're going to get it right after the show airs. Sometimes you'll get it a few hours before. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to get it first on Patreon.
Yeah.
For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after shows that we do when we go back and watch old seasons, which is not right now because we're in live season central.
Sometimes I
but
miss those though. Like it's kind of a fun to break it up.
We have tons of old after shows you can go listen to if you're like, hey, remember when crazy shit was happening when Bravo wasn't airing? I wonder what Alicia and Meredith thought about that. Go listen. They're on there. We talked about everything Bravo.
Yeah, that's true. It is Bravo news in the off season.
Yeah, that's why we're not surprised now, obviously. And also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Casey, Kelsey, Kimberly, Chrissy, Sarah, Cameron, Tiffany, Tonette, Tracy, Courtney, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Mariah, and Ruby. Oh, and Taylor.
There are so many new names.
I know. Did you see how it tripped me up a little bit?
Yes.
But like I did it.
It tripped me up. I literally was shook.
I would rather trip me up than not.
It's actually kind of fun.
I'm so excited.
It's funny because we're both involved in the Patreon, but in such different ways that I love hearing this list every single time we record.
Isn't it? So I know you don't look. You're not.
No, I don't look.
Okay. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, for live shows, for now, for today, for while you're listening to this, you get to give us your thoughts, questions, concerns, opinions, literally anything you want to talk about. It could be Bravo or not Bravo, but we'll read about it and talk about it on the podcast. We got tons because we have so many new patrons.
And also be like a whole show just for patron thoughts.
I know, it's wild. But then also we will pick a patron of the episode, and I already know I'm never prepared for this, but I'm prepared because we have a patron who moved from $2 to $5 just to give us her thoughts. Yay! And I love that. So yay for Kelsey. Kelsey's been with us a long time as a $2 and we love her so much, but she said, I can't just sit around and not speak. So I got a bump.
I love that.
Which is what you do. Kelsey in the off season moved back to 2. It's all good.
Yes.
We support.
Honestly, optimize the dollars.
Yeah.
For the time of the year it is.
We love. Okay, so we have some thoughts before we get into this episode. I guess how many thoughts we have. I couldn't even keep it straight. Between our two shows, I had to screenshot and make an Excel file.
Shut up.
And I have a before and after. A before and an after.
I love that you guys are making Alicia do so much organizing.
And I hope if I missed your thing too, I'm going to literally jump off a bridge, yell at me all you want. Oh, okay.
I don't know. So, clearly a lot of comments.
So our number one, our before, we only have one before, I think. I hope, pray. Tiffany says, great pod. I do feel like this may be the last season if it's the same cast. For the first episode, it was very boring. Now, unpopular opinion. but I do think the girls sit there and wait on something to attack Lindsay with. Maya acted like she was close to Carl and had her own relationship with him. If she was so close, then she would know that substance abuse is substance abuse. The California sober thing doesn't really work. You've seen VPR. If he was struggling, asking him to do that was wrong. She should know to ask how he's doing and his sobriety if they were such good friends. I don't think Lindsay accused her of hitting on Carl, and she admitted that the whole story will unravel. Anyway, that's just my views on that because I wasn't even good friends with some people that have substance abuse, but I know to not drink around them if I don't know what they're comfortable with. So, with that said, I totally want to do a mid season with y'all. I love listening to y'all, and y'all are pretty much just like me, but younger. I love the summer house for being fun and letting loose this year is off for sure. Now,
Yeah, that's
Tiffany, we got to respond. We can't just like read it and not talk about it.
we have a full like 2-hour podcast each week.
Yeah.
Because we're so opinionated.
Let's take this a few lines at a time. I agree that the girls wait to attack Lindsay. We all know I'm actually I love Lindsay.
Thought about that this entire episode, and you are going to be shocked by some of the things I have to say.
I love Lindsay. Now, for this Maya thing, I do think she had a separate friendship with Carl.
Yes.
Do I think it was like we're besties? No. But
I think it's really important to her.
Yes. But then with the California sober thing, if Carl, it doesn't have to work. I don't think it works either, truly. But if Carl says,
never thought about it, but
yes, to me, if I'm abusing one substance, I don't want any substances, right? But people in recovery can choose their own path. And if Carl says, I want to be California sober and smoke weed, then I'm going to say, then you do that, right?
It would be hard for me personally. I'd be like, I don't want to judge. So whatever.
Yes. I don't know your journey.
So like,
whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, personally for me, I know it wouldn't work. But if Carl wants to do that, that's totally fine. Now, I think how it went down was Carl and Maya have smoked weed because Carl says he's California sober.
Yeah.
I think Maya didn't think he was going to change his sobriety path because if I identify as California sober, I'm just going to assume you're California sober till you tell me otherwise.
If she's down to smoke, she knows she's got someone to do it with her.
So like, unless Carl said, I'm not smoking weed anymore, I think I would also assume you're still smoking weed and ask. Now, do I think
because even if she asked, how's your sobriety? And he said, oh yeah, it's going great. That doesn't mean she knows things changed.
Yes.
That's what's tricky. Is people have to be really honest and really specific with their questions.
So I personally don't blame Maya. Do I think Lindsay accused her of hitting on Carl? I don't know, because we've seen Lindsay lose her mind before.
I don't think in so many words. I just realized, what if she said, I think your relationship with Carl is inappropriate? Like, that I think verbiage is so specific and could have been taken the wrong way.
That I think she totally could have said in regards to sobriety. But Maya, if she doesn't know Carl changed his sobriety path, she's not going to know what that means. She's going to think, I'm not hitting on Carl.
I don't think Lindsay's good at communicating with other people personally.
Yes. So that is what I think. I don't blame Maya. And now after this episode, I don't really blame Lindsay or Carl. I think it's a big ass miscommunication.
I think it is just a giant mess, and people need to I know his sobriety is a high stakes thing, but people need to simmer down and take like the high stakes thing, since we are no longer in that moment. And it was 6 months ago, like chill out.
If Carl
all around
doing okay, right? If he's fine, we can all be fine. We don't have to freak out for Carl. Carl's a big boy. He could freak out on his own. We've seen him freak out before.
I need people to let Carl just be Carl all around.
Yeah, let the boy live.
Fucking adult.
We're
and listen,
okay.
His sobriety, while yes, he needs supportive people around him in all aspects of his life, he's only gonna be able to do it if he wants to do it.
Yes. Okay, the other million are for after the show, so we'll get into that later.
I can't wait. Also, I've already decided this is going to be like a 2.5 hour episode. I'm 99.9. Can somebody please comment to us about this? we both watched it late, not live, like on TV.
Yeah.
Was this an hour and a half episode, or is the app glitching?
I couldn't tell you because I pause a lot to take the notes.
I swear to God, this took
Do
me.
you pause at all?
No, I had to pause once to talk to my sister in the middle of it, so I don't have a clear cut when I started and ended.
Yeah.
And I don't
So I
know how
I pause and rewind and like try and get quotes. So it takes me on average like 2 hours to watch an episode anyway.
Alicia's dedicated.
Let alone, for one season,
Alicia does the prep work and I do the post work.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into it. So
let's do it.
Also, everyone pray for me during these notes. This was done at 5 a.m. and I was severely hungover. So
I like that even more. Also, I apologize for my voice. I went to Mardi Gras.
We're rough. We're just like, let us live. Previously on Summer House, we got to the house. We don't have 4 bedrooms. We're down 4. Carl and Lindsay just moved in together. We met Chris, one of the 3 guys. We met Sam, we met Gabby, and we met Jerez, who's not on the show, but is a hot friend who I think is going to be around forever.
Thank you for saying his name again, because I could not remember it.
Jerez.
And they kept calling him that guy.
The hot guy, the
or
hot
Chris's friend. And I was like, somebody gave me a name.
Jerez. Yeah.
Jerez. Okay.
It's not spelled that way. It's spelled Jarez. Okay. But they keep saying Jerez, and I've listened a million times. So until he calls me personally, I'm gonna say Jerez. Jerez. Okay. Maya and Lindsay haven't spoken since February because Maya texted Carl about smoking weed, and Lindsay told her that she wanted Carl in a sexual manner. Maya talked to Carl about it, and Carl's priority is Lindsay. Kyle feels weird with Carl because of working together and thinks Carl is on the verge of quitting. Lindsay tells Carl to talk to Kyle. A lot of miscommunications. I'm not about that. I want literal fighting and doors slamming in faces. Same. And Lindsay walking into a garage. I don't
like the triangle of conversations we're getting. I think that's a huge problem, is we're not getting confrontations.
Yeah, like I heard from so-and-so that who fucking cares? Come on. So we open the episode. It is Sunday, 10:13 a.m. It's the 4th of July. We're going to go to the beach at 12:16. The crew shows up at the beach. We're doing drinks. We have this American bird eagle to drink out of that's spilling.
I want one.
Oh, it's spilling. I don't need that. Keep my drink in my mouth.
The like shotgun bald eagle. I've seen these online. Awful. I want this.
Awful.
People do it out of flamingos too.
I would do a flamingo. Someone said Meredith a bald eagle. Because I won't.
I'll do this.
Chris asked Sam to put sunscreen on his back, oil him up a little.
This cracks me up. Like, I kind of cringe being like, oh my God, trying to figure out if someone's into you in the early days of flirting with them. This is Chris trying to figure out if Sam's into.
But then Sam goes, is your friend Jerez coming because he's hot? And I was like, she could also though be flirting, because that might be how I flirt a little. Like, I'm also feeling it. Like
I don't think you call someone's friend hot if you're into, like, Sam wouldn't call Chris's friend hot.
No, if I'm messing with him, I'd be like, you have a really hot friend, because I think
more would have followed.
Like, I think if we have banter anyway, that's going to be a moment. And he does play it off really well, because he's like, I'm glad you said that, because I also think Jerez is hot. And Gabby's like, me too. And they're all like, he's a hottie. So, like, I think Chris played it off great. Well, if anything, that was fantastic.
That's true.
Amanda says her boobs look better, but Kyle says he didn't mind when they were watermelons. Did she get a boob reduction and I missed it?
I don't think so. I wonder if her getting off birth control affected this. Your weight fluctuates with birth control, and so I wonder if she lost it in her boobs.
If she got a boob reduction, I'm so sad, because I love her boobs. I mean, like, good for if it can help with back issues and stuff. I get it. So, like, but personally, I'm kind of like Kyle. I love when they're watermelons.
Kyle's struggling no matter what with her just touching her boobs.
Lindsay, Carl, Sam, and Chris play ladder ball. And if you don't know what that is, because I didn't know this was called ladder ball, I called it bolos.
Well, yes.
Like
I
bullets,
knew
right?
what they were talking about. I
I
hate this
did.
game personally.
Chris is clearly flirting with Sam. Sam says she has a different energy with Chris versus the guy she makes out with because he fist bumped her, and you don't fist bump a guy you're trying to fuck. But like, if he fist bumped you,
No, I think she's just saying you're a type of guy I'd fist bump, not someone I'd fuck.
no, she said he fist bumped me.
Oh, interesting. I
Because
didn't.
this was one of the times I
You
rewound
rewound
because I
it.
had to know,
I
like,
just took it as like there are
did
people
she
you
friend
fist
zone
bump
him?
and there are people you fuck.
No, I think she thinks he friend zoned her a little.
Interesting.
We'll
I'm
see
not
where
getting
it
the
goes. We
vibes.
don't know. I'm getting vibes.
I'm not.
Oh my God. I wonder what's going to happen because we don't know.
Interesting.
Also, pause. A girl from my work knows Sam. Sam was in her sorority.
Shut up.
I have some tea, not like a ton, but this girl at work said that Sam was in her sorority. She was a few years younger
Mm-hmm.
because Sam's 25 and we're old. But I was like, does this girl not sleep? Because she
Great
seems to only sleep
questions,
4 hours.
Alicia.
And she said, this girl in my work said that she doesn't really know because Sam was always on. She felt like Sam was like this persona. Sam was just like not a normal person. She always seemed to like be
Be able to do it.
like presenting or like
Yeah.
be acting. And so my friend's like, I literally don't know if who she is because she was always performing. And I was like, holy shit. So this is her always. Like I
Whoa.
think she's like a fembot.
You know what? I think she's going to be a great reality TV star then.
Same. I think
Give
she's
it to
meant
me.
for this.
I don't know if I want to be friends with her, but I am happily going to watch her be on all the time. If she can
Well,
sustain it, I'm in.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens with Chris because I don't know. Okay. Maya, Paige, and Amanda talk. Maya says that marriage looks good on Amanda. And Amanda says she has 2 kids because they're dogs, Ryder and Reese. Meredith and I don't have dogs, so we're gonna skip over this.
We've got no husband, no dogs.
No husband, no dog. Craig, we talk about Craig. Paige says that Craig has never admitted to when he's pooped before or even farted in front of her. And Paige kind of likes that. And Maya's like, I don't have enough self-respect. Like Maya's basically like Oliver knows exactly when I'm taking a shit.
She also says like to do that 3 days in. So it sounds like Maya and Oliver just got officially together.
Oh, maybe. I listen, it's gotta be so hard to literally like stay with someone for 4 days and be like, I'll just be in the bathroom for 20 minutes, but like I'm just hanging out. We know what you're doing.
Because Craig and Paige are basically almost a year in of official. But think about all
Yeah.
the times he's come and actually stayed with her. That long distance is so much harder to keep that act alive. Like whenever you're together, because you're together for such
All the time.
long periods of time.
Like, and when you're together, you're not gonna be like one of you's not gonna go to the store and the other stays back to poop.
No.
Like you're gonna go to the store together.
No. I would
So,
not
like,
be able to keep this up. I would have to
I would
like
literally be like,
listen.
turn the TV
We
up.
need to have a talk.
I'm about to take a shit. You're gonna have to turn this TV all the way up to not listen to me.
Yes.
Or fart. Do you know how much cheese I eat? You gotta fart sometimes.
I would have to. I would become vegan, I guess, which I never have wanted to do.
You're like, but you can't really eat some vegetables. Make your stomach crazy too.
I'm okay. I'm just not going to do
anorexic
this.
if I'm doing this.
This is a whole second job.
I'm Maya. We're gonna sit down and say, because I hate when dudes are like, girls don't poop, girls poop. Like, let's deal. Okay, great. We're moving on. I don't want you to see it or be near it, but like,
let's just let you know when I need my time.
Yeah. And Amanda's like, that's the honeymoon phase. It'll pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Jerez and Chris's other friends show up, and everyone's like, "Ooh, hot Jerez!" And now it's 1:23 p.m. Lindsay and Carl, so Lindsay's watching Carl in the water, and as Carl's like just getting hit with a wave, she goes, "Yay!" And I was like, "What's he doing?"
My God.
Because then he comes back and she goes, did you just pee? And he's like, no, I just like needed some cold water. And I was like, what were you cheering for? That maybe he peed in the ocean? I don't know. But then it gets worse because she goes, you're pretty. And he goes, you're pretty, babe. And then she goes, I love you, babe. And he goes, I love you, babe. And
I think they're also kind of doing them dirty. I think they're giving
It's
us cringy
bad.
moments.
Well, when they were on Watch What Happens Live, they didn't realize how often they said babe,
Yeah.
and they were horrified too. But listen, to any future boyfriend, if you go in the ocean to pee, I'm not gonna cheers you on. I'm probably
Yeah.
not even gonna notice.
I will be taking one out of the bald eagle in your honor.
Meredith's passed out on the beach, has no idea where her boyfriend is. Okay, Maya knows she needs to talk to Lindsay. She doesn't think Lindsay understands the way she views friendships because she's super guarded and doesn't trust people. She feels like she trusted Carl, which I agree. We kind of saw she was not feeling it last year, really opened up to Carl. I don't think that's what Lindsay meant, but I think Lindsay
No.
took it away? Sure.
But listen, I think Carl is an anchor for Maya in a different way. Like she has these girlfriend chats, but like Carl was there for her when she needed someone.
Yeah. And this is like, if she doesn't want to party, she can hang out soberly with Carl. If she wants to have a deep talk, she can talk to Carl.
I think
Like it's
we did
different.
not see a lot of their friendship because it's
I
not
agree.
quote unquote
It's
fun.
boring. It would be
Yeah.
boring.
Yep.
Yeah. So Maya talks to Carl or talks to Kyle about it. Maya doesn't feel like she should breach any conversation, and Kyle's like, I also haven't talked to Carl in a non-work environment. And Kyle's sad and Maya's sad, so they're sad together, and they feel like nothing's changed on their ends, but that Carl has changed, and that's what changed the friendship. Which, like, when your friends get in relationships, that's what kind of fucking happens. Okay, we're not all Kyle Cook who can be cool but ruin his relationship, but she
Yes,
stays
this
around.
got me thinking like that. Okay, yeah, maybe nothing has changed for Kyle and Maya, and that's okay. But it's also okay for Carl to change.
Yes.
You know, like things have changed in his life.
Yes.
And is Lindsay a part of that? Yes. Or like quote unquote to blame for it? Yes. But is that a bad thing?
No.
No. That's
And that's
called life.
realistic. Like
Yes.
I can sympathize, right? A lot of my friends get in relationships and the relationship can change sometimes, and that's like so fair. But like I have to expect that because they went through a big change. They're in a serious relationship. I haven't.
Yeah, they're in
But
a
I would
different phase
want,
of their life, and our
yeah,
friendship that used to be doesn't fit the way it used to be.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paige and Gabby go put their feet in the water. It's so cold, so they don't know how they're gonna pee. They're just gonna
Well,
sit in the sand and like
I've been
wiggle.
in this boat where you just gotta
Same.
sit in the
Sit in the
little
sand.
inch
The
of
wave
water.
comes, you pee a little,
Yes.
it goes out, you wait for it to come back. Yeah.
Yes.
We grew up with lakes and oceans. We know.
They're cold.
Yeah, they're cold. So Gabby feels like she's getting along with everyone in the house and she likes Chris, but she loves Jerez.
I'm loving how much action Jerez is getting from this house.
Oh, wait. I'm about to fucking, once we get, you know what scene. Anyway. So we light the grill and Carl and Kyle grab some cheese sticks and they're like, hey, we should talk.
It's funny how they're just trying to bond over anything. So food is, they're like, cheese.
Well, I love how they light the grill and they're like, yeah, Manly, do you want some cheese sticks? Yeah. And so, okay, so Kyle starts things off by saying something is off between them. And Carl says he's just been so busy moving in with Lindsay. He hasn't had time to like share his feelings with Kyle. And Kyle's like, I just want you to talk to me, Carl. And Carl says he's burnt out from work. And Kyle's like, yeah, I asked you about work like 3 weeks ago and you didn't say any of this. And Carl's like, yeah, I was like figuring out my thoughts and now I'm saying it, which is fair.
That's tricky on both sides. Like,
I know
Kyle's trying to figure out what's going on.
And I will say,
doesn't know what to say.
From a business perspective, and we'll get into it as we keep going, I see a lot of Kyle's points. I think he's presenting it wrong, but I can totally get where Kyle's coming from. Anyway.
Yeah. Carl too, like, yes, I get it on both sides.
Yes.
That's what's
But I
tricky.
think a lot of people are sympathizing with Carl, which is fair, but I see Kyle's point.
Yes.
He's like he's thinking of it from a business point.
Yes.
Carl's thinking of it from an employee point.
Aspect.
That's
different.
It's
that is like
different.
the key disconnect.
Yes.
And I sympathize with it all.
Yes. So some days Carl's pissed because he's working his ass off. He doesn't feel valued. He feels like he's the face of the brand and it feeds his ego in a good way. But he also feels like Amanda and Kyle aren't doing as much, which like they all do those appearance things and like
yes.
fair. Carl was at a lot for a long time. I think all summer he like traveled and stuff.
And I think Carl, by the way, not doing stuff when he says that means just the appearances.
Yeah. Kyle says he wants to be more public, but he doesn't have the time. And that's also like Carl's role, right? He's in sales. He's meant to go sell this brand.
Yeah. And by the way, he's selling it not just to the people, and those are people are coming up and they are grocery store purchasers and bar purchasers. But to be honest, what you're doing is selling it to the restaurant, making it successful at the restaurant. So the restaurant is happy. And I don't think people think about that sale that is happening.
You're trying to get distributors to see like, this is a good point. Like in Chicago, we need a distributor. We went to Wrigley
and we
Field.
can't just have one bar. You need like 6 bars to hold a distributor. This is like what I do business wise as this industry. And so like, I see this network and everything that goes into it.
So it is, I think it's to Carl's benefit, right? He's a public figure. He's gonna be more successful than like you and I trying to sell this shit, even if we were in sales.
This would take so many more years to get to this point.
Exactly. So I get why he's burnt out, but this is a sales job. Like that's what VP of sales is, to do this. So so Carl feels like what he brings to the brand isn't seen as much. And Kyle says like, you're also dating Lindsay. And I feel like that's changed things. And Carl's like, yeah, I complained to her a lot. And like, she works through it with me because that's like his comfort, obviously.
Yeah. This is another moment where I was like, that makes sense. That's normal.
It makes sense why Lindsay is like, leave this company if you're unhappy. Because again, she's seeing the bad parts, right? It's like when your friend talks shit about their boyfriend, you're only hearing the bad.
And again, she's looking then at it from an employee perspective. Like this isn't working for you to get a paycheck this way.
Yes. So Carl has to listen to Lindsay because he thinks Lindsay's looking out for him and she's opening his eyes to other opportunities. And Kyle's like, fine, I just need like more honesty and communication from you. And Carl's like, look, I'm putting together a bullet pointed email to send to you. It'll be 17 pages long. I'm just kidding. But
reference back to an old season. For those
and Kyle's like, okay, can't wait to watch. So Kyle in his interview though, is like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Loverboy has given Carl a purpose. And he thinks Lindsay's bored of not working because I don't think Hubhouse PR is a thing. And so she's telling Carl to not work anymore.
Dude, I was shocked with this whole statement because
that Lindsay's not. Yeah, the whole thing.
One, Kyle was like, oh, Carl loves Loverboy. And I bet it did give him a purpose and a life. But like, again, things can fucking change.
Things can change. As an employee, I don't owe the company anything.
No, as Carl's friend, he owes Kyle like conversations, but he doesn't owe his life to this company because he worked at it from day one.
Yeah, and he's an investor. He wants the company to succeed.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to be the mule that's grinding it out anymore.
Yes.
And like, I love my company when I started at it. That doesn't mean I'm going to love it for the end of time and be there forever. Like so many people change their jobs so much now.
Yes. And then with Lindsay not working.
This I was shook about. Is this true? Like, what
happened to Hubhouse? Did she sell it?
I never noticed maybe her not working, but now I'm thinking about that COVID season. Like, was she like Straffy was working the whole time, like aggressively working? Was Hubhouse working?
I don't think so.
Like Hannah and Paige kind of were just like effing around and
Hubhouse has not posted on Instagram since 2019.
It's done. And that's pre-pandemic.
July 2019.
No.
They only had like 5,000 followers on Instagram. The website looks to still be up, but that doesn't mean it's active. It hasn't been redone since 2017.
It's done. You would keep, as a PR person, you would keep your socials up to date. That's huge.
Do you think if I Google the address that Hub House is at, I can see if the new company that's there?
Gosh, that's so crazy. Wow. I have not thought about Lindsay working, but they have not talked about it. We've not seen her on a work like call, and I'm trying to think about the last few years and nothing.
No, they don't have this office space anymore.
Insane.
Okay, but I get that too, right? If you're dating someone not working but still being successful and bringing in money, why the fuck would I work? Right? Like we
Especially,
could just hang out. I don't
and
know.
he doesn't have a 9 to 5 job. Like, I
No.
will give him that. Like, he has
Sales is
weird
crazy. Yeah.
stuff. And so, like, him flying out to Chicago and then to San Francisco and like going on these stints, what is she just supposed to give up her boyfriend for the rest of time?
Yeah.
I would be telling my boyfriend to quit.
Yeah, for sure. Sales is all sales jobs are kind of crazy because you have to kind of be ready at any point to work. Lindsay luckily gets to go to these events. She wants to see Loverboy succeed as
I wouldn't
well.
say luckily. I don't know if I would want
Well,
to
I
be
think
doing this. I'm
luckily
going
in
to
the
be
sense that
honest.
they get to hang out.
Yes, she has
They're
the
obsessed
freedom
with
to
each
be able
other.
to like travel and do this
Yeah,
with
yeah,
him.
yeah. But like think about it when we're at our house and like Lindsay's watching TV and I'm working, I'd be like, I want to just watch TV and not work too.
Especially if Carl like just gives a few complaints. Like, Lindsay's gonna like start pulling those strings to be like,
Yeah.
oh, you hate it? Let's get out of
Listen,
this then. Like, let's do stuff
I get it.
together.
I get it. Okay, so now it's wait, hang on. So the handshake, they're done. Great. 2:06 p.m. Lindsay's talking to Gabby about Jerez. And Gabby hasn't talked to him. And Lindsay's like, oh, you're play it cool girl. I'm not play it cool girl. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
an
I was
understatement.
dead at this. I love how she has to call in Paige and Amanda because she's like, realizes I can't
Well,
be like
Gabby's
you.
like, I was trained to play it cool. And Lindsay's like, at what school? Like Lindsay's like, what are you talking about? Because
The
we all
opposite
know
of Lindsay.
Lindsay thinks someone's even a little attractive. She's gonna be like, hey, I think you're a little attractive. Okay.
And then make out with them.
Yeah, get over here.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm thinking about, we just watched this season 3, when she
Oh my
makes out
God.
with that guy, Payman, as he's sitting in the chair across
Oh my God.
from
She
her.
just gets up and she's like, what's up?
Yes.
We're like, holy shit. Listen, I'm play it cool girl. And it doesn't work all the time. You really should. But Lindsay's way is horrifying.
I'm not really in the middle, but I play it cool, but I can have a moment. Not like Lindsay.
Once I feel vibes, I will stop playing it cool and shoot a shot.
Yeah.
But if I don't feel vibes, I'm gonna play it cool and figure it out.
I will sit there for the rest of time
I
wondering
am
if
not
this person
Lindsay.
likes me at all.
Lindsay. So at this moment, Jerez walks over. They do a hello. Finally, he's gonna talk to Gabby.
Yes.
They shake hands and Gabby says, you're welcome. And I was like, okay, we're gonna be mean.
I do like that line.
We're gonna be a little mean. I love a mean flirt. Lindsay helps out and is like, hey, Jerez, what do you do for work? And he's a actor, a model actor. I don't think we've had one of these in New York yet. It's always an LA thing, but
yeah, I don't think so. We just had models.
we have a actor, baby. They also check out his bone structure.
He's
and then
hot.
they ask for his birthday. And immediately they both go, Cancer. And I was like, I wouldn't have known if this man was a Cancer.
I am a Cancer and I don't even know this.
Are you? Shout out.
Yes.
I literally, he could have said, they could have said Scorpio. And I would have been like, really? I'm a Scorpio.
I'd
That's
be like,
wild.
makes sense. Okay. Like, I just agree with people when they talk about this.
Was he July? It was sometime
July
in
14th. Because I thought, my immediate thought was, man, if we better see him on his birthday in 10 days.
I love that you were probably, if he said July 14th, you would say, oh, mine's July 25th, right? July 25th?
Yeah.
6th? Yeah. You would have been like, mine's July 25th. You wouldn't be like, twin Cancers. I'd be like,
I literally thought in my head, see you in 10 days.
You're like, great. Then Gabby goes, I hate Cancer men because they're triggering for me. They're dishonest, they're not good people, and they're sociopaths. And
I felt attacked by this.
Holy shit. But it's just Cancer men.
Well, I'm dishonest.
I'm a sociopath.
I'm a sociopath. I literally was like, stop reading me like a book.
She says she likes Cancer women, though.
I don't know why.
Does that make you feel a little better?
That tells me her judgment's really off.
Well, Jerez's face the whole time was like, what? Like, you don't know me, ma'am.
I feel this though. Like if a guy said this stuff to me and like, how did we get on these signs? We talked about this last time. We are not these people. Like, I don't know anything about this.
I would literally be like, just because your ex is a psycho does not mean I'm like, we don't know each other. You're gonna tell me everyone from every class, from every stage of life, from every race, from every ethnicity that was born on my birthday is the fucking same as me?
Well, no, because I have had my whole chart read that I've learned some things about this shit.
I'm over it. Oh, I don't know anything.
But if you're not into it, you can't lead this gung-ho up. Like, Gabby can't go so gung-ho about this with people who don't give a shit about it. And clearly he doesn't.
Me. The best part of this too is that everyone's watching and is like, oh my God, are they flirting? But really, Gabby's just fucking tearing this man a new asshole.
This guy.
Yeah. How Cancer men suck. And then she's talking about her ex. Her ex of 4 years cheated on her for 3 of those 4 years. And then she's never been in a relationship.
No. He ghosted her for like 3 weeks, I thought.
No, he was cheating on her for like 3 years.
Oh my God, I missed the cheating. I just found out about the ghosting.
Yeah, he's cheating. She hasn't been in a relationship since, and that made her reassess all Cancer men. So at one point she liked Cancer men.
Yeah.
Okay. So
okay, you can't put it all on one man though. I thought she was going to give us a string of people.
No, it was just this guy. Because then here's Jerez flirting. This is a hot move. He was like, I'm going to prove that you're wrong about Cancer men. And fucking Gabby goes, I don't need to be proven right or wrong. Thank you. It was nice talking to you. And I was like,
I can't believe that she put so much on like knowing somebody's sign, and that's not the first question she asks them. Like, if she thought he was hot last or 2 days ago or whenever we saw him at that pool party, why wouldn't she walk up to him and immediately say, what is your sign?
If this is a deal breaker for you.
Yes, which it seems like it is.
When I ask a guy on a dating app, what's your serial killer trait? Because I have to know if you're a crazy serial killer.
Well, and I have to know if my like interest in serial killers will put you off.
Yeah, if you're like, that's a crazy ass question. Are you a psycho? I'm gonna be like, yeah, stop.
Yes.
Go away. Okay. So bad for Gabby. I thought Jerez was really trying to shoot a shot and she shot his ass down.
Can we talk about this ex for a second?
Psycho. Oh my God.
No, that picture they showed us. $100. I bet that girl that was blurred out is Danielle.
Shut the fuck up.
It has to be. There is no way they're bringing it up later this season. And the ex was a brunette. You
know what? I really did think it was weird that they blurred both the faces off in that picture.
It is Danielle.
Right? Because his wasn't shown either.
And I can't remember what the guy, like, I can't remember the thing of the guy. I'll have to look it up after this and like go look at a clip again.
Good call.
Because what if it's Robert?
Gabby couldn't date Robert.
I don't think it is.
Date Gabby.
Because Robert gets brought up later in the episode, and like things don't happen.
What
like,
if it's Carl? Happens. I'm just kidding.
But I'm telling you, it is Danielle.
That's a good call. You're smart.
There is no way they would have given us a blurred-out photo.
Good for you.
Like that.
Holy shit. That was great.
Get ready, so everybody.
Maya then asked to talk to Lindsay. This infuriated me. Let's talk about it. Maya says she doesn't want to rehash and she wants to move forward. And Lindsay's like, I know it comes back to the combo in LA. Like, I didn't raise my voice. And Maya's like, you spoke with a tone and it was really harsh, which Lindsay's tone is harsh. Okay. If you don't know Lindsay.
But Lindsay doesn't see it. So it's really hard to talk to her about her tone.
Lindsay's harsh tone is so goddamn scary. I never want it.
My sister has this problem too. It is
where
so
she'll just
bad.
Say something nice and you're like, that was rude.
I'm like, chill it with the tone. I literally have to be next to her in fights and be like, chill it with the tone.
My sister has that too, where she'd be like, can you give me some water? And I'd be like, what's your issue? And she's like, I'm just asking. And I'd be like, I don't know.
It's the head thing too that you're doing.
Yeah.
Lindsay does it. She like has really harsh mannerisms in fights.
And as people who clearly also deal with this, if we're Maya, I get it. I'm a little scared. The tone's harsh. Yes. But anyway, Lindsay says she remembers it like Maya texting Carl. Maya told Lindsay. Lindsay says, don't you think you should have had a conversation with me about that? And Maya said, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like both of you are kind of on the same page of how this started.
Yeah.
Right? Because if Maya says, I just texted Carl, we're going to smoke a J, and Lindsay goes, don't you think you should have had a conversation about that with me? I'd be like, harsh.
Yes, I agree.
Harsh, bro. What the hell you mean?
I'm like, you guys are actually remembering this exactly how it went.
You guys just have different tones, I think.
I think you just don't work together.
So then Lindsay says, at the time, she was sober to support Carl. And Maya texting Carl to smoke weed. Well, Lindsay's not even drinking to support him. It's different. Maya's not his girlfriend, though. Maya does not have to fucking do this.
Also, me texting to hang out with my friend is like, why is this about Lindsay? How is this about Lindsay not drinking?
Can you answer me this? I have one simple question. Picture this. Maya texts Carl, let's smoke some weed. She tells Lindsay. Lindsay knows Carl is sober and thinks maybe Maya doesn't know. And instead of saying something harsh, she says, Carl's not really smoking weed right now. It's affecting his sobriety. Why didn't anyone just say that?
Right?
Why? It seems really simple from the outside.
I don't understand how this happened because I thoroughly agree.
I'm not blaming Lindsay, but
upset that she is staking her own, like she's being sober for this. Why wouldn't she just say, this is not good? Don't you see that I'm not drinking to support him? He cannot be doing any of this.
Yeah, he's not smoking.
There are a million ways she could have said this, and none of it was like, that's inappropriate, like about Maya texting him. All Lindsay needed to do was explain the sobriety piece.
Here's my other thing, right? I'm in Lindsay's shoes. This girl texts my boyfriend to smoke a J, whatever. I then think, oh, he's sober right now. She probably doesn't know because he's not giving her the time of day because he's dating me. I should let her know how much I know about him because he's my boyfriend.
Yes. Like she can't. And like,
how would Maya know?
We kind of talked about it at the beginning of like, okay, yeah, like as a friend, you should be supporting like someone's sobriety. But the thing is, people aren't mind readers.
No.
Like Maya can't just constantly ask every day how his sobriety is without like being a little overbearing. And I don't think she's that level of friend to ask for every nitty gritty detail.
And also Lindsay would be like, why do you keep texting my boyfriend about his sobriety?
That is also, yeah. If Lindsay didn't say you're into my boyfriend beforehand, she definitely would have said it with that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like missing something or I'm like too rational of a person to be watching Bravo, but I think I'm too rational. How it got
I think I'm a little too rational now, but this doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. I don't know.
And then it like escalates and I'm like, what is going on?
Because Maya's then like, we're not gonna agree on what happened in the car. And I'm like, but you guys kind of said the same story. Like this was kind of the same. And then Lindsay says she just feels like she shared her feelings and she was calm and she was an adult. And I was like, no, girl, your tone's not adulty though. Like
you're not being an adult right now.
Like right now, especially.
So Lindsay says she shared her feelings like 7 times.
I know. Which don't you think you should have talked to me about it? Is not a feeling. You could have said, hey, I'm hurt. Or like, hey, I'm a little shocked.
Listen, I do think everybody's feelings are valid. But let's remember that we go through a lot of different feelings over things. So the feelings you felt in a moment, you don't need to constantly say you were upset when you're not upset anymore.
Yeah, we're fine now.
Like move on from those feelings that you had 6 months ago and like chill out.
Yeah. So then like an adult, Maya gets up and says, I'm done. And I was like, that's not solving. Maya,
And
sit
then
your ass down.
Lindsay goes, oh, you just have to stomp off.
Oh, you're just gonna walk off, aren't you? And I'm like, Jesus hell. So Maya, then they're standing, and Maya's like, you accuse my character of doing things that I don't do. And I'm like, where did Lindsay say you like Carl and he's in a relationship though? But then Maya reminds Lindsay that she said that Maya wanted Carl, and Lindsay says, I didn't say that. And then Lindsay starts going on about her feelings of her sober boyfriend, and Maya's like, I'm done. This is disrespectful. And Lindsay's like, can I not have my feelings?
I literally was like, this is just spiraling.
Because I'm like, go back. When Maya said, like, you accused me of something,
we
I
were finally getting
Lindsay
somewhere.
to be like, I said this.
Yes.
And Maya to be like, no, you said this.
Yes.
Instead,
not Lindsay saying, what about my feelings?
My feelings. So she says, can I not have my feelings? And Maya says, you can have whatever you want, bitch. And I was like, ooh.
I was like, there we go.
Maya doubled back instead of doubling down, because then Lindsay's like, did you just call me a bitch? And Maya's like, I call my friends bitches. I didn't mean it in that way. I would have been like, yeah, I called you a bitch.
When is Lindsay the bitch police? Like, she's the last person I would think would get offended over being called a bitch.
Call me a bitch?
I know we saw that clip 100 times before the season started, but I'm still shocked that Lindsay's so offended in that instance of like Maya being like, listen, bitch.
I feel like if someone did this to me and I was a little heated and they're like, you can have whatever you want, bitch, I'd be like, I fucking will. Like, I would just, I'd be like, fuck I'd be you. More mad that I don't have like a
good comeback. Yeah.
So I'd be like, fuck you.
This wasn't a good fight. Like, I wanted it to be.
So then,
like, if it's gonna get heated, give it to me good.
Get everything out there. So then, Maya's like, I call my friends bitches. And Lindsay's like, you just want to coexist. So we're not even friends. And I'm like, oh my God, now we got to define bitch.
This made it even worse, this next part. Because they're like, Lindsay's so upset that they're not friends, but only because it means that calling her a bitch was a different context.
Okay, so they sit back down. Yeah. And Maya's like, I didn't want to be disrespectful of your relationship. And there's an opportunity for us to come together, but we can't be talking about this over and over again. And like, things might not be amazing, but they can at least be okay. And Lindsay's like, great. So they stand up and they're like, gonna go their separate ways. And Lindsay goes, I'm a hugger. Let's seal it. I'm like, I didn't feel like this was hug material. No. I felt like we should go our separate ways with like a fist bump. This was a fist bump moment.
Let's talk to Chris. Let's get the fist bump king going.
No sexual tension whatsoever.
And of course, well, then as Lindsay's walking away, she's like, normally I would say we should kiss in this situation. I'm like, when? Why?
Wild.
Why?
I don't know.
We've determined you aren't friends, and I know you're a person who kisses your friends, but you're not friends, so no kissing.
Awful. We're done with this. Thank God. Okay. It's 8:10 p.m. We go back to the summer house. Paige texts Craig and they miss each other. And Craig's going to see her in a few days. Hip, hip.
I thought he was coming next weekend, by the way.
I did too. And I'm kind of disappointed he's not. I can't believe I said that.
Because I think that would liven this up a bit.
I just want Craig and Lindsay to fucking fight again and him call Lindsay a loser.
Incredible.
That was the best moment of TV Craig has ever had. So tonight, Sam's going to do something for the group. We don't find out what. Paige, Maya, Gabby, and Amanda talk. And Gabby's like, so Jerez isn't my husband.
Her first husband, by the way. Which I love when people say first husband.
I love that. Then they talk about Maya and Lindsay's conversation, and Lindsay's also talking to Carl about this. Mm-hmm. And she tells Carl that basically Maya just wants to coexist in the house. And Carl's like, easy, because you're not a monster. And I was like, well, she can't coexist well.
I was like, Lindsay has had some conflicts. I want to call her a monster, but I wouldn't say it's easy.
No, Lindsay's really good at coexisting, even if she hates you, because she will not go in a room. She'll still go in that room and be like, hey, how are you? And you're just going to get mad. Like, it's funny.
But it's not coexisting for the rest of the house. It's not making it easy for the rest of the house.
I think Lindsay is just like this magical person sober that we haven't seen yet. And I want her to fight. I miss my Lindsay. I miss activated.
Lindsay's birthday from last year with the Sierra chaos. Minus one wine glass thrown.
I want Sierra to yell at Lindsay and Lindsay to put her hand up and walk away. I want her to sit on the couch with Austin as Danielle and Sierra are about to like battle to the death in the back. And I want Lindsay to walk away and Craig go, "You're a loser," and her go, "Whatever." Like, I want madness.
Yes.
I want Lindsay to be a monster. Leave her alone. Anyway, Sam and Kyle knock on Maya's door and they find the girls. And this I found weird because the girls would like, "Could you just give us a minute?" And
yes,
so Sam has to leave.
But they didn't even talk about anything like important. That Sam, I understand having conversations where you're like, "Listen, sorry, I need my girlies. Can I get one more minute?" But they didn't talk about anything.
No, and I feel like Sam's being isolated out the house.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like this.
I didn't think this was such pertinent, like such a close in your like crew core like conversation.
Yeah.
That she couldn't come in and sit down and eat the goddamn charcuterie. The door was open, for God's sake.
Yeah, this kind of makes me sad.
I didn't like it.
I want Sam to be in the girl group. I don't want her out of the girl group.
Me neither.
Okay, so then
if Gabby gets to be in there, Sam gets to be in there.
So does Sam. So Maya calls Oliver. Oliver's gonna come over. Chris is in the kitchen and Paige announces herself entering the kitchen with a burp. Carl's gonna cook hot dogs and burgers. So now it's 10:33 p.m. Kyle comes down in an American blazer. He's feeling himself.
Loved it.
Amanda does that "I hate my life" moment because
Maya's obsessed with it.
Maya loves it. Chris and Carl are outside grilling because we all know Carl's looking for a man friend.
Who's not Kyle.
Yeah, anyone but that guy. And we got one other dude to pick from, and it's Chris. And Sam goes out and flirts with Chris a little, which we like, or I like a little.
See, it's so funny. I'm not reading it like that.
I read it as flirting. I don't know why.
I'm reading it as like they're friends. Like, I like when I can have a guy friend who it's not like I'm just hanging out with them,
but I
don't want anything with. I think that's
we like can't even argue about it because we don't get enough to feel vibes. Like we get a moment.
There's not enough that I think any of them is going to make a move.
Yeah, we can't be like, did you see that prolonged like hand being held or like the eye set? We get nothing. We get a quick like rub my back. Okay, done.
Yeah.
Okay, so Oliver's here. Maya like opens the door so he can walk in but not see her, and the first person he sees is Kyle in his American blazer saluting. And Oliver finds it hilarious because Oliver's a real dude.
A lot of people online were saying this is major friend vibes, like Oliver and Maya.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Sam and Chris. I'm not getting anything major from them.
I always thought of them instead of boyfriend girlfriend more like fling. I think Maya and Oliver have like a fun, flirty banter, but I don't think it's romantic. I think it's fling. We're not serious. It's like we just like each other's company.
And it's weird that we got introduced to them as boyfriend and girlfriend without any background.
Yes,
status.
we also have not seen them much.
I know, but like I feel like everybody else this season has sat down and been like, here's whether in an actual conversation or in an interview of like, here's the status. And I'm shocked we didn't get status from Maya.
Maya said last episode she's in love with Oliver.
I needed more. Like, oh, we officially got together on this date. Here's what we've been up to in the off season.
I don't think it matters. We know they break up by October.
I guess that's why we aren't.
So, Maya, where are we? Oh, Oliver's in another house with his friends. Yeah. And Maya loves this because in any relationship, even her husband, she doesn't need to be with him all the time.
Amen,
this is
sister.
Me. I'm probably going to have a husband and people are going to be like, you guys have friend vibes. And I'm going to be like, I know.
You guys are doing separate summer houses and you're married. And I'm going to be like, obviously.
I like can't judge Maya that much because this is what I would want. Like, truthfully.
Well, I want a little bit more spark. But I want to be able to sleep in separate houses.
Craig and Paige?
Yes, I want Craig and Paige.
Like
but
far
forever,
apart,
long
but
distance.
like kind of, yeah. I get that. So, great. Oliver meets the house. He's kind of hot. I forgot how fucking tall and hot he is.
And I forgot how much this house loves him.
I love Oliver. I'm here for
He
it.
was like a major part last season.
If I do remember though, he lives in Jersey, which is a big no for a lot of New
Oh,
York people.
yikes.
Anyway, 11:48. Everyone's like, it's bedtime. And I was like, no.
I I can't. This is
You're so angry.
how is it 4th of July weekend?
I know.
At this
I
point, I
know.
was like, what is happening?
The ratings are not looking
It's
good.
a Sunday and we have Monday off, and
Yeah.
you guys are doing nothing.
And you know who turns up? Kyle and Sam and Maya and Gabby. Thank God for these four doing fucking anything. They're in the kitchen. Kyle lights sparklers. Him and Sam, who doesn't sleep until 4 a.m., they're doing sparklers. There's a skip it. Kyle's doing the skip it, and Sam's going, skip it, skip it.
I
skip
loved.
When Amanda came down and went, Kyle, I went, no.
No.
Get
Yeah.
upstairs.
I've never been so upset for Amanda to call Kyle to bed.
I could have watched Kyle and Sam skip it for
All
7
night.
more minutes.
All night.
A full 7 minutes.
I
of
did
just
love
skip
Sam
it.
telling Kyle that he could be her dad.
That was great. Why don't we get them eating drunk food? Why don't we get them poking each other's faces?
Where is everyone else? It's not like you had a late night last night.
Gabby, you were 25. Get your ass out there. Maya, grab Oliver. You guys are fun. Let's go.
Like something.
Get out there.
I'm not saying you had to stay up till 2 a.m. like Kyle and Sam did, because if you guys just gave me 30 minutes of fun time, we could have edited it down into this same 2-minute period.
And then you know what else angers me is when Amanda takes Kyle upstairs and Kyle's drunk blabbering and she goes, Kyle, be quiet. I'm like, no, let the man live. We're in a summer house, for God's sakes.
Yes, and this is also the reason that Lindsay and Carl do not need to be across the room from Kyle and Amanda.
Yep. Put him down the street. Truly. Get him out of here.
You know what? We need a house where there's an apartment above the garage and Lindsay and Carl can go in there.
Yeah, and there's only one camera in there because we don't want any angles and we don't really need that much.
No. You can have the stairs so I can see them going to bed.
Amanda ruined my fun. Whatever. So it's Monday, 9:58 a.m. The house is starting to wake up. Carl and Lindsay did not go to Barry's. Instead, they go to the bathroom to have sex.
They also made out in their bed, and I was like, stop showing me this, Bravo.
It started as like a kiss and then went way harder. And then they're like, we must go to the bathroom. I'm like, Jesus, how you two? It's gross. Because then the producers asked what we always wanted to know.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about it.
Was it weird the first time they had sex? And Carl said what we all would say, where it's like, this is my friend. What are we doing? Like,
he also knew the question was coming.
Lindsay says she immediately asked, do you see me as the mother of your children?
I'm sorry.
No.
Him saying yes to that question tells me everything I need to know.
100% is what he said. I would have said, let's see how this goes. I'll let you know.
I'm like, you guys aren't like on fire for each other. Also, you guys are thinking about raising, like this is a business agreement.
They're procreating. Also, when Lindsay was explaining this in like the way it was edited, did you basically picture her like on top of his dick going, stop, do you see me as the mother of your children? And him going 100% and then fucking again.
Weirdly, I saw, because I watched this after my sister just had a baby. So I just saw my sister in a hospital room an hour before having a baby. So I pictured Lindsay pregnant in a hospital and Carl being like, yeah, I'll have that kid with you.
100%. This is what I dreamed of.
Like that they never had sex and somehow they just have a baby.
I'm so scared. Anyway, so then they're like, how was it? And Carl's like, it felt like we were making love.
No, I don't believe you guys at all.
No.
Nothing screams I'm not in love like you saying.
You want to talk about friend vibes in a relationship? Like, listen, Amanda and Kyle, I get friend vibes, but like romantic friend, we're in love vibes. Carl and Lindsay, I get friend vibes, but like we're gonna have kids and like just be together. And like we need to keep calling each other babe to like really put our point across that like we're in love.
We're together.
Yeah. Like,
all I'm saying is I would rather be single than and be in Lindsay and Carl's relationship.
I
can't, like, I am my whole body, I'm like shaking because it like is giving me anxiety watching it and thinking about it.
It's a lot. Let's move on.
If they are so in love, I'm happy for them. Like, I'm trying not to like tear them down.
I think they are. I think they are.
For me, watching it as entertainment, it is cringing me out so hard.
It's not the best to watch on TV. I have a feeling it's better in real life.
I would love to see it in real life to see if my opinion would be different.
Listen,
minus the babes. I can't do that.
I am right.
In love or not in love. I need that shit to cut out.
The person I am and the person, or like I have friends, a lot of the relationships I've been around, even my parents, they are in love, but they're also friendly in a way Amanda and Kyle are, right?
Yeah.
My dad's gonna walk down in an ugly sweatshirt and my mom's gonna be like, God, you're so ugly. Right? You know? She's not gonna be like, you look so good, babe. Yeah. My mom would goddamn never.
You're right.
My dad only calls my mom baby to annoy her when he's like, what you cooking, baby? And she's like, shut up. 2 seconds, or like something stupid.
I think this is awful. There isn't like a natural we're gonna be together forever ease of life in it.
It's nothing.
It's just difficult to watch.
Great. Let's move on. Please, God.
Yes, please.
Okay, everyone's packing to go. Oliver and Maya talk. Oliver's gonna play some golf. He's gonna go. See you next week. Carl and Lindsay are gonna go meet Danielle for brunch, and they're not gonna be here next weekend.
Okay, I was shocked when they mentioned they're gonna go meet Danielle for brunch because I had just always assumed they entered the summer on a bad note, or some rockier ground.
So we get to watch it all deteriorate, which is crazy. I'm so excited.
I'm even more confused.
I'm so excited. It gets more wild when Danielle has Carl's back. We'll talk about it anyway. Yep. So it's time to go. Lindsay and Carl grab brunch with Danielle. They literally sit down. They're like, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to see Danielle? And I was like, are they obsessed with her? Like, what? They're which is wild because now they don't like her. So I'm like,
I really thought they had to come into this season already on like some tension, and that this brunch was going to be like, man, I haven't and they do say they haven't seen her in a while, but I thought they'd be like, oh, like this was like forced by producers.
They're pumped.
They're so excited to see her.
Pumped. They'd rather see Danielle than have sex with each other. They are so goddamn pumped.
All right. It's called Making Love.
So it was Danielle's brother's birthday this weekend. So she was like in the Hamptons, but she was with him. Mm-hmm. But they missed her so much. They tell her, oh my God, it just wasn't the same without you. And we find out Danielle and Robert, they're still together. Yes. They're not in real life, we don't think. He's still doing the Aspen thing where he's like partly in Montauk and partly in Aspen working as a chef.
So you just think that he's there during like the high season, right? Like winters in Aspen, summers
in Montauk. So Carl tells them about the conversation he had with Kyle. Carl doesn't know if he wants to be at an alcohol company and be at bars as a sober person, which is fair. You are like doing nothing but being around it.
He's giving a lot of details that make a lot of sense.
So much sense.
But none of this was said to Kyle.
Because then Lindsay's like, does Kyle understand this? And Carl's like, yeah, probably. And I'm like, no, boys are dumb. He
thinks you love this, and Lindsay wants to sit home and hold hands with you.
Yes. And then Danielle's like, don't give Kyle passes. And I'm like, Kyle just doesn't know. Carl never expressed.
But like, I understand why Danielle's being like, if Carl keeps saying, yeah, I've told Kyle this. Yeah, I've told Kyle this. Then the girls think Kyle knows this and is just being an asshole and doesn't want to lose his bestie.
Yeah, and they just don't want Carl to be taken advantage of.
Like, Carl's honestly doing a disservice in so many ways to Kyle, but not the ways Kyle thinks.
Yeah. Okay, so then we go to NYC. Maya's walking her dogs. Craig is at Paige's apartment. And weirdly, I was so excited to see this couple.
Me too.
Can I be honest? I, in previous seasons, stand by what I said. I hated them absolutely. I kind of like them now. So far,
it is rubbed off the like annoyance, cringy, awkwardness, or
Yes.
not awkward. It's because it's not the things that we just said about Lindsay and Carl.
Yes.
It's a different way. I disliked them.
This is almost kind of like how I compared my parents, right? They have good banter, they'll shit on each other. It's like fun. Anyway,
I don't know. They just hit their stride.
Yes. Also, I support Paige, right? So they're doing long distance. Whenever Craig misses Paige, he comes to New York, and Paige is like so happy with that.
It just seems so simple. Like, what other people could make so problematic, I bet, and do, because I bet long distance is difficult, but with the right person, anything can work. And it just feels like it works so well for them.
And society is the worst, right? Like, when you're dating, it's when you're getting engaged. When you're engaged, it's when you're getting married. Then it's when you're having kids. Then it's when you're moving in. Like, all these different things where Paige is like, what works for us is working. We don't need to live in the same city. We're dating. Like, we're great.
And it makes me feel better about that stuff too, because as people, like, I don't know how you feel about this, but as someone who is a similar age to her, I do understand that societal pressure to do all these things, and watching her be like, I don't care. I'm like, yeah, why do I?
Yeah, I don't care either. I think Paige is only like a year older than us. So fucking great. I support her. Okay, so then we also find out that at one time when Craig was at Paige's apartment, she said, how do you like your eggs? And he said, poached. And she said, I make a great poached egg, but she didn't know how to make a poached egg. So while he was watching TV, she like YouTubed it, and then she made a poached egg.
Girls rule, and that's love. Fucking world.
That's love. Okay, so then we see Gabby meet up with her parents. Gabby being in a summer house has really cut into their family time. Her parents are her favorite people, but it's a very codependent family. And like, my parents are some of my favorite people, but we're not codependent. Not like this.
I'm not codependent, but I think it's really sweet how much she like admires her parents, their relationship. Like, people have really good families. I love that for them. I just am not that exact situation. I love my parents, but I'm not this.
For sure. So Gabby only hangs out with her parents since COVID. They're her only friends. I love when someone admits this. They're like, I'm like, whatever. So then Gabby's dad asks about her dating life, and she's like, I'm just like looking for someone who looks good. And he's like, you shouldn't date someone for their looks. And Gabby's like, I date them for their signs, Dad. No, she didn't say that, but basically.
As long as they're not the Cancer, I'm in.
Her parents went through her breakup with her. And so like they saw and took care of her. And so like they felt the hurt, and they just want her to be happy. And I support.
That would be difficult. Like, my parents would never know the person I'm dating. I always joke that they won't know the person I marry until the day of the wedding. So like, my parents will never go through a breakup with me.
My parents will know when I'm engaged. I'll bring him home a little sooner than the wedding.
Just a little sooner.
So Carl and Lindsay head to LA because Carl's best friend's getting married. Hip hip hooray. Then we go to Kyle and Amanda's apartment, and this is wild. Let's talk about this. Ooh. So the dogs are back from their walk, and then Kyle's like, oh, guess what? One of our Loverboy distributors on the West Coast just terminated with us.
Oh, God.
And Carl's like, not on the email. And I'm like, that's weird, because as a sales guy, as VP of sales, he should be.
Honestly, anyone high up in the company
should
be on this company. So like, even just the VP title alerts me like, this is interesting. Okay. But VP of sales.
So I don't know who didn't add him to the email, but weird. So then Kyle feels like Carl's been neglecting his job for 9 months, and it's Carl's job as VP of sales to like make these relationships with distributors and like make them work and like keep that.
This is the only way for everybody who wants Loverboy in their state. This is the only way. These relationships are how you get it in your state. Like, this is huge to the success of the business.
You need these distributors. Okay, so Carl sent the bullet pointed email and says he's been working 90 hours a week, and and Kyle thinks that's bullshit because he's been doing a lot less since dating Lindsay. Also, 90 hours a week is a lot. That's a lot to claim. And I get it, because you're probably traveling and doing these things. I totally get that.
I was wondering if he was counting literally every hour that goes into a trip. And I was like, that's like, you can't really count your flight. like
You can't find your
hours. You
flight. You
can't.
can't count when you're like in the hotel unless you're like
There were some
working.
things where I'm like, I
Like,
wonder how he's tabulating this.
yeah. I get he does a lot, but
Yes.
90 hours, especially for Kyle to be like, he's not working at all. And then Carl to be like, I'm working 90 hours. So there's something missing here.
Yes.
So then Carl wants to be paid extra for doing events, which dude, if you're in the company, you can't get paid. You can maybe get like an extra PTO day or something, but like
Yeah,
for the
I
most
don't know
part,
what the exact solution would be because even Amanda's like on top of what he's already making, which they haven't told us his salary. I don't want to know his
he's a
salary.
VP. He's making at least 300K.
And an investor, so like
yeah.
I bet he's not getting paid out yet for like investor stuff, but like that is in the long run. I wonder if some more stock or whatever was included. But this, you're also a public figure and other employees are not. So like only you, Kyle, Amanda, Lindsay can really do this where other people can't.
Yes. And here's my thing. I get you are a public figure. So when you do events for Bravo, right? That hot chocolate truck, I mean, he wasn't there, but I bet they got paid for promoting the show from Bravo for that, right? If you work for a company and your job is to go to a bar and do an event, my company has an event at Alta on Saturday. We are like tomorrow. We don't get paid for going, but we had to we have to go. People have to go. The PR person
we
has
worked for
to
a
go. That
company
is
that
their
did
job.
like an auto stuff, and I had to go to all those events.
That's
I had to
your
go
job.
on Saturdays to them, and I didn't get paid extra. We could, if you were there for like multiple weekend days and constantly going to events, you got extra PTO days, or they would tell you to take the next Friday off or something to help like balance out your work life for traveling so much. But like the one in our home office, I definitely didn't get. Like
you're not an influencer here. You're an employee.
Yes, and they're
you
like
don't get paid
10,
extra.
12-hour days that I like we would do. It's definitely grueling, but it was part of my job description.
Yeah, I had to go to an audit on a Saturday, and that's my job. Like it just happens. So Amanda just doesn't want Kyle to like get angry and like say the wrong thing.
He was making some bad faces.
But
he was getting into Lindsay Tone territory.
Yeah. Kyle's really frustrated because this is putting his company at risk, which is true.
I also was curious, like, why wasn't it just like can we rediscuss like job expectations? Like it feels like not even that discussion was ever had. It seems like it's an all or nothing.
There needs to be like a chat. Like if this is what Kyle or Carl wants, this is not the fit for him. He should become a full-time influencer then and do like events.
Like just do the event stuff and don't do the VP of sales.
Yeah. But then you're only going to get paid for events. You're not going to get a salary.
I was shocked there wasn't even a like, can we redefine the expectations of this?
But then is that all that was in the email? Like, I don't want to shit on Carl because we're hearing it from Kyle's side.
Yeah.
But it sounds pretty blatant, right? I want to be paid for extra events. I'm like,
I would be paid more.
I don't get paid for that.
And then there's this other email of like, from Kyle's perspective, what we're getting from him is Kyle's not doing work and asking for more money.
Yeah.
Which is
wild.
I bet not obviously the whole story, but still difficult.
Okay, so now it's Friday, 9:18 a.m. We see Sierra, Paige, and Gabby pick her up. I'm kind of excited to see Sierra. As a Sierra hater, I might not be a hater anymore.
I'm just excited for people.
Anyone but these boring.
Let's mix it up.
Sierra's single, no expectations. We're doing a summer without Austin.
No, without Muppet Mouth.
We don't say his name. It's also Sierra's 1 year of being in New York City. She fucking loves the city. Let's go. Yeah, so she's in a different place. Last year was waxing, this year it's laser. Let's go.
That says everything.
Chris and Sam are driving down together. This is where I got friend vibes.
Man,
okay?
They're paired them up so much, but I'm just saying I don't feel it.
Now I don't feel it. So they drive down together. They talk about their week. Sam went to kickboxing and she invited her boxing coach down to the house because he's cute.
Like, you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't go that far if you were interested in it.
Yeah. So now I'm like, now she doesn't. Before I was feeling it. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. We make it to the house, Sam and Chris, and then Kyle and Amanda. And then Kyle's pissed how Chris parked, but you can always move the car. Just calm down a little. Danielle's here. We find out Danielle and Robert actually live in Montauk for like the summer, which is fun.
I guess she's not a city girl anymore.
I don't know if it's forever or not. Whatever.
I need more.
So Maya's here with Oliver. Also, wasn't it Danielle that introduced Maya and Oliver?
I think you're right.
Danielle was very excited to see Oliver. Kyle's like, hey, can we grab a drink and maybe play a game? And I was like, thank God.
I felt this so hard. Kyle's trying to get the party like going.
This is where I'm literally like, as old as Kyle is, I can't lose him. He's the only one.
No, I've never been so thankful for him in my entire life.
I know. Okay, so then Sierra, Paige, and Gabby arrive. They go, so everyone's outside playing bags, cornhole if you're one of those, but bags. And so Maya comes inside, sees the girls, and is like, hey, Sierra, your boyfriend's here. Or no, wait, first she goes to Oliver and is like, hey, your girlfriend's here, Sierra's here. And Oliver's like, oh my God, should I help her with her bags? And I was like, that's cute, because I'm that friend.
That was cute, but then it kept going, and I was like, this is, knowing that they're not together now, Maya and Oliver, I don't know, this made me feel weird.
But Oliver and Sierra we have not heard of, so like it's okay. So then Maya goes inside and is like, your boyfriend's here. And so Sierra runs out and is like, my boyfriend. And Kyle opens his arms and Sierra's like, what? No. And then she's like, I'm so sorry. And Kyle's like a little sad that he's not the house boyfriend anymore.
He's nothing to these women.
That's Paige's other boyfriend.
Yeah, that's true.
The threesome, it's different.
Yeah.
So Sierra and Danielle say hi. Sierra has apologized since throwing a glass at Danielle, and Sierra's hoping that they can get into better graces with each other after the summer.
I like the hopeful outlook. I'm excited. I'm happy.
I love watching the glass thing again now that we know that happens, because at the time I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm hopeful, and I think they're what Maya and Lindsay need to get to.
Yes. So let's keep going. Craig's gonna come for Kyle's birthday. Amanda's a little offended. Why not my birthday? And then Amanda and Paige talk about how Carl didn't actually tell anyone that he wasn't gonna be around. He was going to LA on a flight, and that's a 5.5 to 6 hour flight. And he had meetings with people, and he didn't tell them that he wasn't gonna be on. That's crazy.
Shook. Okay, I have done this. I've been on a flight working and did not tell people, but I block off my whole calendar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going incognito.
You're available.
I usually do. I'm available. I'm working on the flight.
Yeah.
I just try not to have any meetings. Yeah. I have once had my manager ask to call me, and I'm like, in the middle of something, I'm like, the flight's almost over. In the middle of something, can you call me in an hour? But I usually only do this in the morning, where I will have like a 3-hour flight in 1 hour is from 8 to 9 when I just do my email management anyways.
This is why 5 to 6 hours with no communication, and you have meetings and you just don't show up.
That's bad. That's
crazy. Bad. And Amanda's like, at least take the time off. So Carl's not looking really good now as an employee.
It's both sides are not incredible, but like the things we're hearing at the end of the episode, I'm like, oh, here's I can't excuse this.
Carl's not gonna get paid extra if he's doing this shit. If you want to be paid extra, you show up during working hours.
Your shit's got to be tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Oliver's leaving. We're gonna get ready for dinner. We all maturely figure out the rooms for this weekend. It's beautiful.
So simple.
Maya finds a whole sandwich in her bag. That's beautiful too.
How many sandwiches have you made for me?
Maybe Oliver left her that sandwich. Oh. Do we think?
You know,
that's amazing.
A man making me sandwiches is becoming a bigger priority in my life.
It's on my dating profile now. I'm just kidding. It's not, but I should. Everyone looks really great for dinner. Gabby's pants are wild because they don't like zip her up, but that's how it's supposed to go.
I am not a fashionista. I enjoy watching fashionista. And what's funny is just on our last Vanderpump episode, I said Summer House doesn't bring the game. And they did this episode.
They did. My fashion is equal to Amanda, who wears pajamas but shows the bra, so it's not actually pajamas. Yeah, Gabby's crazy pants. And then Sam has the smallest purse I've ever
I
seen.
don't
And
understand mini purses. As
I
someone
don't
who
either.
loses her belongings, why
Because
do I need a mini purse to keep track
you
of?
can't fit anything in there. Anyway,
No.
we're at dinner. The waitress comes around, asks for drinks. She looks at Kyle and says, "And for you, young man?" And Amanda goes, "Young man." So then Danielle's talking to Chris about being single, and Chris says he prioritizes his career over girls. That's how it's always been.
Mhm.
Danielle, though, she's kind of a matchmaker, and she's like, "Look at these 3 single ladies around you.
I
We're assuming
appreciate
Sierra's single."
her doing
Yeah.
this.
Danielle doesn't know, but she's like, maybe. We also find out Chris's mom is from Honduras and his
Mhm.
dad is from Uruguay. Uruguay, however you want to say it. But yeah, he just wants to make his parents proud.
I
We
love
got a
that.
little color. Look at that. A little,
Listen, they're doing it on Summer
Latin.
House.
We
They're
got some
doing a great
Latin.
job.
Latin. Okay. So Sam loves wearing heels and ordering mozzarella sticks.
That is a vibe.
The best thing though, tight jeans and mozzarella sticks.
No.
That's a combination.
Loose clothes
So
only with fried food.
so it's loud here. Kyle makes a joke about forgetting his hearing aids.
It's interesting because Kyle and Amanda's side during this dinner seems to not be able to hear anything, but the other side slash
Can hear
middle
everything.
seems to be able to hear things fine.
I think it's age. Because listen,
Maybe.
I sometimes walk into bars and go, it's loud, it's very loud in here.
Yeah.
Right. I know. I'm that person. Okay, so Kyle and Maya start talking about the talk with Lindsay. Maya said it wasn't bad, but their relationship has changed. And then it's like, hey, Kyle, how's your conversation with Carl? And Kyle's like, I'm glad we talked, but we need to have another conversation about Carl at work, because he sucks.
I think the last one was more friends, and I think Kyle's at a point where he needs to have an official work conversation.
Yes, I agree. I do not know how I feel though about Kyle bringing up work stuff in a friend environment.
I was thinking about that too. I think him saying this first sentence is fine because Maya asked, and these two had previously talked about it, and Amanda's not here.
Yeah.
So they can't hear. Kyle and Amanda's side cannot hear. So I think Kyle thinks this conversation's a little bit more private than
Yeah,
it
and I don't
is.
mind saying, like, as a boss, I need to talk to him. But then
Yes.
as he goes on, like, Lindsay's in his ear. I'm
Ooh.
happy for them as a couple, but like, listen, we have unlimited PTO, and you're supposed to get 2 weeks notice if you're going to take off PTO, which is standard.
Yes.
But then you fly to LA and no one has any idea, and like Carl's
He was
boss
spitting
had no
out
idea.
details that I was like, I think this is a little inappropriate.
But I'd be pissed too, right? Like, because here's the other thing, right? If my friends are not or if my work environment is not in my friend group, I'm gonna vent about it.
Yes, like
So
if this is just an employee, if this is
but this is your friend
like
employee,
Kurt,
so it's weird.
the VP of sales,
Weird.
Kyle can complain about a guy who didn't put in his PTO.
Yes, but it's weird because they're friends. So
and like he's not here.
But isn't it wild that not even Carl's boss knew? That's so bad.
I know, because Kyle has said that they set it up where
Yes.
Kyle's not his boss.
Yes, Carl does not report to Kyle.
Yes, so like there is someone that if Kyle didn't know, somebody else definitely should have known.
Yes. And yeah, listen though, I am very happy that Kyle is spilling his guts though, because I want to know all the tea.
I do.
Yeah, Kyle's drunk. He's just going off a little bit. Danielle asked Paige what happened with Carl, and Paige is like, listen, I don't want to get involved, which is smart. Paige, my girl's thinking.
Yep.
So Kyle feels disrespected, and so does his team, which I get, right?
Yeah.
If someone just blatantly leaves,
I have had someone on my team, not this high up, but I have had someone, and it is really disruptive to the whole group.
Yeah. So Danielle's eavesdropping. Kyle's going off about Carl. Gabby's like, hey, any other topic? Literally any other topic. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now Kyle's going off about how Lindsay's in Carl's ear and how Kyle hired Carl when he was unhireable and he showed up to work drunk and coked out.
We knew about the drunk one that had been discussed in a previous season, but
because
like
he showed up to like an event drunk.
Yes, but like
I think
calling him out that he was
okay, I think it's so inappropriate for Kyle to say that Carl was unhireable. I think that's rude. Even if he was, like, that's super rude to say
about your friend.
And your friend who's struggling with sobriety, right? So like
I think that's really, like, I think Kyle crossed the line having this conversation, but for the drama and for the show, I'm here for it. But that last sentence really crossed the line of you being friends with this person. And we know, and remember at that reunion, Hannah's Burner's last reunion,
said it. Yes.
Hannah mentioned him on drugs, and that they all like were like, I can't believe you would say that in like a public forum. Like, I was, the drunk thing didn't bother me. Him, if he would have said like he has shown up to a few things drunk, like, you know, I've been lenient as a boss with him. He could have said that, but
the coked out thing's wild because Hannah got annihilated for saying that.
Yeah.
And by Kyle, she got killed basically. I don't know if Kyle feels like it is already out there that, like, if I think say it's not a big deal. I think he
was very drunk.
But holy shit, my jaw hit the ground.
Yeah. So I think the unhireable comment, he could have walked back.
I don't know. But like, I think that's rude.
Him and Carl could have moved past. Is rude. I think it's just rude.
With that one, it only angers me because Kyle keeps acting like, without me, Carl would have nothing.
But like, Kyle's the saving grace. I think Kyle could have apologized, and Carl could have moved on from the unhireable
but comment. The coked one, no.
Wow.
So Kyle gets up to like cool down. He leaves dinner. Amanda says he's just mad because he feels like he gave Carl opportunities and Carl's not the best employee, and now Carl even wants more after like not showing up for work. So it's hard hiring a friend. Yes. And when Kyle comes back, someone has taken his seat. So he goes to sit across from Danielle. So he just sits down without knowing that Danielle fucking has any opinions. Because he couldn't
Danielle came in, he is confused. Danielle was just like, don't sit there.
Yeah, which I was like, Danielle, girl, I don't know.
Because if she had been part of the conversation earlier, this would have made sense. But Kyle's literally like, what?
He's also so drunk and he has no idea she has heard him. He is so confused. And she's like, I don't want you to sit there right now. And he's like, what? And she's like, I don't want you to sit there right now. And he goes, what?
Anywhere but there.
And he goes, what? Like he doesn't even say why. He is just like, what are you talking about? Because then Danielle says, I heard what you said about Carl and I'm mad. And Kyle's like, do you even know what's happening at work right now? And I guess it was over a year ago that like all of this happened, like the drunk, the coke.
Yeah.
And so like Danielle's like, you're using that as a reason to not pay Carl more money. And Kyle's like, is that what Carl wants? And I'm like, Danielle and Kyle, shut the fuck up.
I also think it's inappropriate for Danielle to have this conversation.
Yes. This is Carl's career. Shut up.
Even if Carl has a leg to stand on, deserves all that stuff, Danielle, you are gonna actually make him not get that stuff.
Because how do you get a raise? You have to plan, go to your boss, be like, this is how I want to be compensated. Yeah. I think I deserve because of this.
Like, can you imagine if my friend called my boss and said, she really deserves it.
Wants more money. It's not going to work.
No.
So then Kyle says Carl could walk away right now and the company wouldn't feel a thing.
Oh, right. The hard thing is, and then with the things we've been told, I kind of see Kyle's point.
I kind of think so, though.
It's just not been on for 6 hours today.
I know, they're wild to me. As someone who's on 24/7, but that's mean to say.
Mean to say about your friend.
It's mean. So then Danielle's like, what the fuck? How could you say that and not expect me to say anything? And Kyle says, Carl was unhireable for 4 years. 4 years? Crazy. And then Kyle says Danielle doesn't have any idea what happens Monday through Friday,
which do agree with.
I do agree.
I do agree with that.
It sounds like she's just talking to Carl, who like has Lindsay, the ultimate hype woman.
Yes. And you think that Carl's going to be like, I didn't put in PTO. Like,
yeah. Oh. So from there, we have to be continued. Also, can we talk about how, like, if I told you, like, I didn't put in PTO and everyone's mad, you'd be like, oh, fucking shit. But in your head, you would think, like, you should have submitted PTO. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, your friends aren't going to yell at you, but they're going to be like, you're wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, Danielle's going to be like, don't get mad at him. You're friends for not putting in PTO. But, like,
I also
it's a company.
Feel like Carl's probably like, I do so much work, I don't need to. Like, I already worked my 40 hours this week. And it's like, well, that's just not how it works.
Listen, if you're being paid like a VP, you do not get to just work 40 hours a week. Let me tell you that.
Especially if it's during business hours.
Absolutely not. You could maybe
get I want to go to this wedding. It's a Saturday night at 10 p.m. and on East Coast time. No. It's like, this is probably like a Thursday.
It was a Thursday because they were already gone for Friday.
That's true. That's
wild.
True.
Okay,
this is so hard.
Let's talk about fun, not fun, because the stress.
I'm sorry.
You want to do not fun?
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's Carl. I gotta pick Carl because I can't.
Wait, I'm picking Carl.
I can't. It's for me. I don't give a shit about the rest of it. It's the 6 hours of work. I have been in this position when people don't show up.
I get it. I think Kyle is so wrong at the end. I totally get that. But as someone who comes from a corporate background, this is so infuriating and frustrating to me because you know who has to pick up the work? It's the people that don't have a contract with Bravo to pay out $25K an episode. Like it's me who's working now, who's getting paid half of what you're getting paid to work, do your
to
shit,
sit on a call for 30 minutes and not have you show up, and you just waste my time and I have to do your work. This
is bullshit. And how are you going to ask for money to go to events for the company you work for?
You were asking for more money. You can't even put in your PTO.
No company's going to do that. No companies. Here's another thing. I work, our CEO is an influencer. Mm-hmm. She comes from reality TV background. She owns the company, whatever. She does not get a bonus at the end of the year. I will tell you that much because it has to go back to the company. And she does all her events for free. She does not get paid.
She is hustling for her own company.
You do not get paid to do that shit.
Because she knows the time is an investment into her company.
Yes. She is doing work. This is her company. She knows. She goes to all of the events. She goes to all of the sales meetings, and she does not get paid extra for that.
Yeah.
That is Carl. I am so sorry.
Listen, I don't think you should do like 80 events a year. Should he ask for help from other people? Absolutely. But like, have these fucking conversations.
Yes. Oh, if you can't just go to less events, just say it.
You can't just be pissed off at your company and expect them to do you right if you can't communicate what you need and what more you want in like a professional manner and be hustling so hard that you are undeniably deserving it.
Yes. Woo! Okay, let's go to fun. Let's turn this shit around.
I think I like need a minute. I don't even know right now.
I'm gonna be wild. Are you like ready? Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm gonna pick Sam. Because listen.
Good pick.
And it all honestly comes down to that one night. She's doing sparklers. She's doing skip it. She's ready to party. Do I think she's a psychopath for not sleeping more than 4 hours a night? Yes.
But
do
you know
I never,
what?
Do I, never
want that psychopath on my screen.
I don't want to go out with her. I don't want to be friends with her. I'm sure she's doing coke in a bathroom somewhere. But man, do I want to watch her all fucking day and night?
That's a good pick.
Want her and Kyle to go out to party together? Yes. Yes.
She's having fun. And like the car rides with her and Chris, the show. Even like the friend vibes, they're fun. Yes. Like, you're good pick.
She doesn't get mad when these girls are like, can you give us a minute? She's like, whatever. fuck you guys. She's
Good job.
cool. She's gonna carry the show. If she comes back, she is the new like Paige, a man. Lindsay. She's gonna come in a party.
Good. You're
My
right.
girl.
I'm gonna pick Gabby because I think she's
Whoa!
also really showing up. I'm loving the newbies. They're like fun. They're bringing some storylines. I hate that Gabby did that to that poor boy.
Perez.
Yes, but it was interesting, and I like seeing her with her parents, and she's like besties with these girls. The future of this show is on these two newbies.
Yeah, I agree. Chris hasn't given me enough, but I think he could be like an Andrea. I think he could show up towards Andrea wasn't great coming out the gate, but he showed up.
I don't think he's had the space to get some air
also be like a
in.
Jason, like a really fun, nice guy who's just like fun to have. Yeah, I'm feeling.
You know what? Next episode will be his. I'm calling. Well, maybe not. There's gonna be drama about.
We'll see
The rest of this.
These OGs are gonna take all the drama. Okay. Let's do comments really quick. We got a lot. Are you ready?
Yes. Okay, rapid fire.
Chrissy says, I can admit I would probably be Kyle at the dinner at this point, just being so mad you can't control spilling the tea about everything. But holy, I wasn't ready for it. I'm glad Danielle said something because I honestly thought that it was her being quiet that might have been the breaking point for this friendship. Ugh, here I go waiting longer for the disaster.
I thought she was going to be like, whoa, I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, I still don't know what breaks this friendship. There's nothing.
They're bearing the lead of the season.
I know. Also, we all know what Kyle is saying is true. Carl couldn't get work. He was a disaster, and Loverboy plus Summer House pulled him out of the dumpster. Yes, but
he was in a dumpster.
Listen, Bravo and the Housewives do this great. There's always something but you don't bring up because it is not your shit to spill. This is kind of one of those things where we all know, but we don't have to say it. He could have just said Carl was really struggling professionally and I helped him.
I think unhireable for 4 years is also a bit too far.
It's the coked out. It was just so bad.
I even think Kyle could have said, I cemented his career, and that wouldn't even be so offensive.
Yeah. I saved his career. Great. Yeah. This was rough.
But for 4 years, I mean, he was just
4 years
a little bit of a mess, I think, like for like 2 summers.
Yeah.
So really professionally not getting a job type of thing.
Agreed. Chrissy also says, holy cow, I didn't expect Danielle to be in Carl's ear too, but I'm glad she is. Now it's not just the girlfriend, it's friends telling him he deserves more. Also, I went backwards on this. Sorry. I read them from like the opposite of chronological.
That's okay.
Whatever. Chrissy also says, I'm watching while working. Shh, don't tell my boss because Kyle would have you fired.
Hey, I do some bad things while I work. My company doesn't find out about it.
Okay, what the hell is Gabby? The way she's treating what's his face. Sorry, I don't have time to care about names. Shout out. Don't I know it?
It is hard. I need them to give it to me more often if I need to remember it.
And not just call him the hot friend. And decided he was shit for being the same sign as her ex. BS. Agreed. 2, Maya went from bitch to let's start this again. The second Lindsay almost got activated. I know. I kind of wish Lindsay got active.
I kind of wish she did too.
Whatever. Okay. Casey says, first off, this season is still a snooze fest in the party area. They didn't do a big blowout party for 4th of July.
Just the beach day. Do you know how hungover I was on Tuesday, July 5th? I fell asleep 4 times while working on July 5th. Fell asleep.
You're not a very good employee.
No. And I was okay with it. I went so hard on July 4th this past year, even though it was on a Monday. I expected them to all take off Tuesday.
Yeah, Casey goes on and says, and usually they would have had an actual party on Monday and everyone takes off Tuesday.
Or they leaves at like 6 in the morning.
Monday. Yeah, they all went home Monday. Boring.
Monday morning too. Like at least do the beach thing on Monday.
She says, I'm kind of over this Maya Lindsay fight, but from what was shown, Lindsay was mad Maya didn't check with her first before texting. because she was being sober too.
Yes.
Over it, and I hope it doesn't come back up.
Okay.
Same.
Those are 2 points. Thank you for bringing them up that I like really in my mind thought about when I was watching the show, but kind of forgot because of the Kyle stuff. No, but like I can't believe you didn't check with me. I was sober. And it's like, oh, okay.
I wasn't asking you to smoke a J.
Yeah.
Okay, she says, I think someone else mentioned it in the comments, but Gabby writing off hot Jerez because he's a Cancer. Dumb. He's hot as shit. And 2, you're judging every Cancer man based off one shitty one. That's ridiculous. And 3, I don't know anything about signs, but I'm married to a Cancer man and they're actually really sensitive about, and they're actually really sensitive and caring. So I was offended by what she was saying. LOL, JK.
I hope she doesn't do this with every boy this summer.
This is horrible just because you know how I feel about
I'm excited about her. I think she's like fun, but I can't do it all summer.
Casey, I hope your Cancer man's perfect. Okay, she goes on and says, also Gabby and her parents super cute. Yay, Sierra and Danielle are back. Can't stand all the babes with Carl and Lindsay with their personal videos. Here's the babes. Yeah.
The problem is they just got self-aware like last week. So like this is gonna be all summer.
All summer. Sam's pretty cute, but her lifestyle sounds exhausting between the classic NY lifestyle and her roster of men. Oh, to be young and fun. We were in COVID.
I was never at this level.
Same. Lastly, this dinner and Kyle word vomiting and thinking no one could hear him. I get both sides of it, but definitely not the time or place to blab your whole company business to everyone. No. He even said that on Watch What Happens Live of his timing is never great.
Well, that's all again, why he works so well on reality TV as well.
I know Carl has been open about doing coke, but to start screaming he'd come to work coked out is really inappropriate. Sorry for the long-winded comments. It's my favorite show and I have a lot of thoughts. As always, I look forward to the podcast and your thoughts.
We love them.
Girl, give me all of them. We're clearly going to read them all. Yes. Some people are like, end the podcast. And we're like,
whatever, well, here's the thing. Anybody who doesn't want to hear them, just stop listening.
You're not a real one. No, I'm just kidding.
Not too.
Kelsey, our patron of the episode, says, okay, friends, I upgraded that $5 tier because I couldn't keep giving my random opinions to myself while listening. 1, the Maya Lindsay fight was such a wash. I don't even understand how they can have such vastly different understanding of what went down post Family Feud. And it's the same story. It's the same story. But they have
the same, yeah.
I know. I can't. Kelsey, you're too rational for reality TV. 2, the Kyle and Carl beef is so frustrating. Carl needs to be honest about why he wants to leave Loverboy. And if he takes the sobriety angle, I feel like that makes so much sense. Yeah. We know that in current time news just dropped about Carl officially leaving Loverboy. So clearly it took him a hell of a long time to actually make it happen. I didn't even think about that.
Kyle did an interview. He didn't actually leave until like November and was stayed on into December with a transition. That's how long this fucking takes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
If I was Kyle, I'd be like, you're fired with severance. Get out.
Yeah, but how do you do that when you're in a summer house with these people and your like friendship's already rocky?
Yeah. It's just annoying. Okay. Kelsey says it's so annoying to hear Kyle blame the Carl and Lindsay relationship for why Carl wants to leave. That's such a cop-out. Clearly, Carl is a different person after a year of sobriety. How would that not make sense? If he says,
I do think it's so shitty that Lindsay is getting the shaft for this.
Yes, ridiculous.
I forgot to say that
again.
Too. Like
a rational thought is that it's not Lindsay's. We didn't even mention Lindsay because from we're like typical. That doesn't make sense.
I'm typically like an I hate Lindsay or like I don't understand Lindsay's like person. This is so shitty, and I hate that she's getting the blame for his business stuff.
Yeah, that's my bad. I truly glossed over it because it makes no sense to me why
it
Lindsay
was not a thought in my mind at all.
The only thing I got was if Lindsay's doing nothing, I would also want to do nothing.
Only because I think it's hilarious to think about them sitting on the couch all day.
And we looked up Pub House. We just had to. But okay. If he says Lindsay is in his ear one more time, I swear I'm going to punch him. However, I do think that while Carl is still hired to do a job, he needs to fulfill his duties and communicate about being gone for a wedding.
Yeah.
Finally, it breaks my heart seeing Danielle sticking up for Carl and being such a good friend, knowing that shit inevitably hits the fan.
What does it?
Kelsey.
What does it?
Kelsey, what sends it over the moon? Okay. Tonette. Oh my God. Tonette sent us all. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Okay. Tonette says, okay. I know he has a fucking mullet. I know, but damn, Kyle is fucking adorable. No, I'm not there. I'm not in the camp. Anywho, glad I got that out. I call motherfucking bullshit on Carl's conversation with Kyle. Carl has communication issues and should be able to go to his best friend and voice his grievances. Carl leaving Loverboy, in my opinion, is a bad mistake. He could have done so much with this company and has been there on the front end when it was nothing and now being something. He has a leg in the networking and could have spun into something of his own creation. I feel like he's going to resent Lindsay in the long run, just my opinion. Ooh, okay, we got a Lindsay.
Interesting. I do think he could have done more.
Yes.
I don't think doing the event. I think the events is the downfall, personally.
I think he could have said, "Hey, I really don't want to do these events.
Yeah.
Is there something else I can do that will be more?"
He could have made a 0 alcohol cocktail.
Loverboy. That would be great. Through Loverboy.
He literally ordered a 0 alcohol Heineken at brunch with Danielle.
Actually, that's kind of genius, like a mocktail.
Yes.
Oh my God, he really fucked. You're right, Tona. He fucked up. She says, Lindsay looks hot. I love Oliver. And then says, okay, well, maybe that conversation didn't go too well. Or I like to think the camera left out the part where Maya listened without interrupting, but I don't think so. Maya needs to be honest about her feelings of hurt, and I got to give that to Lindsay. Aside from the fact she looked really good, she was calm, cool, and collected. She just got that too, girl.
I don't describe her as that in that argument.
I think the whole thing sucked. I have no idea. Tonette says, oh my fucking God, of course they're in fucking bed. Yep. That was probably Sunday night. Then she says, why doesn't he just ask for a raise and tell Kyle that he wants to go from there? Ideally, Tonette.
Honestly, any actual words would just help this whole situation.
Anything. Okay, and then her last comment is, Craig and Paige just make me smile. I think her blouse was buttoned wrong, but I'm sure it's just fashion. That's awesome.
Gold.
That's so.
What do I know?
I also saw that, but I did not think it's buttoned wrong. I thought, wow,
I'm
fashion.
An idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, I straight up was like, she's so fashionable. Wow, that was a lot, but that was so good.
Top tier comments.
If I missed your comments, I'm so sorry. Do you know how many Vanderpump comments we have too that I was like trying to
I can't wait.
Eat out. Okay, but anyway, thank you so much. We know this was a long episode. Meredith thinks it was an hour and a half. Thank you for joining. Please do all the things. Patreon's obviously popping. This is great. And we got live seasons galore, so you better join now.
I feel like our comment section should be podcast by the people.
Ooh, okay. Officially, we'll have our segment. It's podcast by the people.
So come join podcast by the people. Yay! And join our Patreon.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.